Welcome back, you guys. I'm out here at Red Lake today. I've got a mission today. I've had a couple comments saying, hey, when you're landing, you really need to be protecting your tail wheel. As you guys know, you've been following my journey with my tail wheel experience. It's very small. I have less than 100 hours. So today I came out here because, well, you can see I still don't have my radio yet. I just didn't want to have to deal with my handheld, and because I can't plug in there and record the audio for you guys. So we're starting out here and then jumping over to a grass field that I found, check to make sure that I'm allowed to land out there. So that's the plan. Start here. I left Kingman with next to no wind, and then it started picking up, and I've got probably at least 12 knots now. So we'll see how this goes, especially over there. So let's go ahead and get started and get out of here. I would have done the intro outside, but it's just way too windy and there's way too much wind noise. So let's go ahead and get started. Wind's coming from behind me right this minute, so I'm going to do a 180 and take off the other way. Here we go. There's 40 miles an hour. We'll lift off. Alright, we really don't actually need to go really anywhere because this is just a huge dry lake bed, which is really nice for practicing. So I'm going to just try a 3-point and then bring it back up. The wind is all over the place. Let me try that again. Go a little bit more into the wind. It feels like it's a little bit over here. There's 53 miles an hour. Go. Handy having this out here for tons and tons of takeoff and landing. Well, let's do a 180, try a couple more real quick before we head over to this grass field. There's not too many grass fields in Arizona, at least this part of Arizona, that I can actually do this kind of stuff. Arizona is just all basketball-sized rocks that are just wanting to rip off your tail wheel. I was out driving a couple weeks ago, saw this field, made sure that it was legal to go out there and land, and this is the first time I've had a chance to even go check it out. I flew over it on the way here just to make sure there was nothing out there. There's a couple cows, but that's it. At 65 miles an hour for the turn, and then we'll slow it down probably about 55 miles an hour. It is a little gusty today, and when there's gust, I like just to add a couple more knots of margin. There we go, right back into the wind. Alright, well, that's actually a little bit easier than I thought. At least on the lake bed it is. Well, let's go check it out over there and see if it's quite as easy. So I'm really kind of heading on like a 310 heading to be kind of into the wind. Just making note over there because kind of where I'm going to be landing, it's not really perpendicular or parallel with the field, so we'll go check it out and see first. Get these flaps out though, and start trimming it out for cruise. So on the way over here, I wanted to tell you guys, I'm going to be at Sun and Fun this year. So if you're planning on going, this is the time you can meet me. I'm going to be down at the E3 Aviation booth, partnering with them. It's a really cool organization. It's a community of other aviation enthusiasts. But if you become a founder, they're just launching right now in like a couple of weeks, probably when this comes out. So I'll be giving more information on it in future videos, and eventually with some links on how you become a founder or a member with E3 Aviation. if you're one of the founders, basically you get VIP access to their booth or tent there. It's right on the flight line. Perfect for all the air shows. They'll have food and drinks there as well. And an opportunity to meet me as well as some other amazing pilots, much better than me, that have a lot more on their resume than I do. It's like a Blue Angel pilot, some other people I think. So anyway, like I said, I'll be giving more information on that and how you can join that community as well if you'd like in the upcoming weeks. And hopefully ICOM can send me my radio back. It's been gone for a whole month now. And I just wrote him an email today just to kind of check on that. So hopefully that's coming back very, very soon. So I already did some scouting out here earlier to make sure there's no telephone lines, things like that. I didn't see any. I'm going to do another medium low pass just to kind of scout it to make sure there's no telephone lines first. And then I'll do a couple low passes to really check the ground condition and try to find an area that this is a suitable place for me to land safely. Not going to damage anything with the airplane. That's the last thing I want to do. There's no landing out here that is worth damaging my plane because, well, I have to fix it and I don't want to work on it. So after a couple of low passes and I found out kind of this is where I'd like to land, I'm just going to do a wheel landing first and not actually really slow down unless I'm like, okay, this is 100% great. Then I might go ahead and come to a full stop. Otherwise, we'll just do a touch and go. I'm going to position myself so that I can, out here there's nothing to run into. And it's about maybe a 2% slope uphill going this way, but I'm going to be landing, well, we'll see. I'll figure out exactly where I'm going to be landing in a minute. And, not that these things help awesome or not, but it might help a little bit. Let's get down into flap range. Here we go. 2 notches of flaps. So this lower section of the field looks like there's like not even any like big clumps of grass. Up here there's maybe a couple more, but really nothing. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 cows, about 20 acres, so I think we're good there. We come back around and we'll face this way because that's kind of the way the winds we're coming out over at the lake. We'll check our brakes, those are good. We'll come in at like 60 knots and then slowing down. We'll do full flaps in a minute though. We'll stay away from all the cows so we aren't scaring them. And we'll go full flaps now. I'll also be landing away from the sun, which will be really helpful. Alright, these little grass clumps. So I'm looking straight on, you can't really tell like the ground, so I'm looking off to the side as well. As straight on it looks like there might be like undulations, but I think it's the windshield, because if I look out to the left, there's absolutely nothing. It's perfectly flat. So let's do a full pattern back around. There's 2 notches of flaps, we'll keep it at that for now. And let's do another low pass right through here. Looking back down that way just to verify that there aren't any undulations, that it's just like the plexiglass windshield that's giving that illusion, because that's what I think it is. Yeah, it really does look flat. There's full flaps. Couple little tiny bushes, maybe 12 inches high at maximum, so I'll just position myself so I'm not rolling over any of those. Alright, full flaps is done. Let's go touch down. Alright, don't see any of those bushes right here. Alright, a little rough, just because it has a bunch of like cow prints everywhere.
but overall, it wasn't too bad. So let's go back around. Let's get a little bit more airspeed though. I'm just keeping it 65 for now, with full flaps. Alright, don't see any of those bushes at all, so this looks like a pretty good area. There you go. Alright. That worked pretty good. Let me look at the tail wheel real quick. Having that Tundra Light tail wheel is so nice. It's 4 inches wide by 10 inches. Definitely works a lot better than the pizza cutter that I had earlier, eh? Alright, there's 2 notches of flaps. My trim set back up for takeoff. We'll go try that again. That was fun. Alright, here we go.
Alright, well, for the sake of safety, I might just take off from here and head back to Kingman until I come up with a better solution, because I don't really, this is fairly bumpy, and I don't want to be bouncing, because what happens is kind of my butt lifts up a little bit over the bumps, and then this will either break the zip tie, and then it comes down right on top of all of my controls. I've had it happen once before, and yeah, it was not fun. It basically makes landing very difficult and flying in general, because the longer you fly, at first you're like, oh, it's not that bad. But then the longer you fly, your seat keeps sitting down further and further on top of your controls. There's a fair amount of bit of wind down in Kingman now. So let's just go ahead and pack up and get out of here. I hate to cut the video shorter like this, but let's go ahead and head back to Kingman. And yeah, have a safe flight. Well, my zip tie just broke just from me sitting down on it. So I found a stronger zip tie and some wire for my multimeter. This is going to be a lot stronger than a zip tie, a little tiny one. And I don't really care about damaging this. So that's what I'm going to use. There we go. That is a lot stronger. All right, so like I said, for the sake of safety, it's not worth damaging my plane or myself to have a little bit of fun. So let's go ahead and fly him back to Kingman. I do not want the seat pan to fall down on here because the winds are getting stronger down in Kingman, and I want to be able to have like full control movement. And when the seat pan falls down, you actually lose like 3/4 of it, and it gets kind of scary. So let's get out of here.
All right, double check our fuel, trims, our flaps. Let's just do a quick run up because we did shut down. All right, if anything happens, like the seat pan falls on takeoff, we're just gonna abort the takeoff. I'm not getting speed, we'll abort the takeoff. If anything else feels wrong, we'll abort the takeoff. I think there's a common theme there. All right. We will power up first and then get going. One quick last flow check. All right, here we go. There's 40. Off the ground barely. There we go. C-pan worked out well. Let's head on back to Kingman. If it's not too windy, let's go down the mountain route because, well, that's going to be a lot more fun. For me and you. There was a couple places that I did scout out. I think one being that hill over there. But I think what I determined, like I was saying earlier, is like everywhere out in the mountains is just so rocky, like crazy rocky. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to come up with a better solution to tie this down. Maybe some 8L clamps, I think is what they're called. Something like that, something that I can bolt on there so that it is on there good. Maybe back up here. No, I need to really do it here because the back never comes off. It just slides off and then shoves down. Well, I do have my Stratix with me today because, well, my radio is doing horrible because I don't have one and it's a real pain to listen in on this one and everything else. So I brought that along so I could be checking to make sure if there's any traffic. All right, we're already connected and there is nobody around. Awesome. It is getting warm. It's got to be, yeah, 66 degrees out. And it's a lot warmer in here, that's for sure. What I need to do, I have these really cool little, let me show you. These really cool little door handle things that I got from bowandarrowllc.com. They allow you to do is crack your door about an inch and then relatch it so it's cracked open just a tiny bit. I mean, just say like, it would just be like that the whole time, which is awesome AC. But because I put these new door cards in here, now my door is a little bit thicker and I need to grind it down and I don't have any tools to do that. So I need to find someone with tools to be able to do that so I can have AC in here. Oh no, it was this ledge up here. Let's go check this out. This is the ledge I was thinking of on top if there was like absolutely no wind. But I still think it's gonna be too rocky. I mean, considering how bumpy that field was, and that was like just a dirt field, we'll see. Yeah, so the reason why it would have to be no wind to come land on top of one of these is because, for one, they're short, but if there's even just a few knots of wind, with all these like big deep valleys and stuff, it could just throw the winds just a little bit off and weird for your landing. But, you know what? I mean, that's definitely long enough. But I can almost guarantee you that there's going to be rocks all over it. I mean, it looks pretty nice, though. Let's do a little low pass over it. Oh, yeah, I can see a bunch of rocks. Well, that's all right. We'll still do a low pass. There's also this, actually. Let's do it right here, because we're already set up for this. Winds were coming from behind me, so I'm kind of expecting maybe some updrafts right here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you could get up here and clear out something, oh, that'd be awesome. But there's just no roads to get out here. So if you actually made something, yeah, this would be awesome. But just to come out here and just go do a landing for the heck of it, no way. You will for sure damage your airplane. But, like I said, if you could get out here maybe with a helicopter or something like that, there's no trails or anything out here, then that would be pretty epic, because this is all BLM land out here. And it is beautiful. Well, I need to start making my calls. So I'm just going to expect to land on runway 21. That's what I took off of. So I'm going to be flying midfield, overhead, overhead, midfield, and then enter into just left-hand pattern. Well, there's still no traffic around Kingman, which is nice for me because I can continue talking to you guys. And also, I did mention in the last video, if you missed that one, what all these new switches are for. Basically, I've got nav lights, I've got landing, I've got wig-wag with the landing lights. This one here is for all my red LEDs. This one is for my camera down here. I just have it on like a flip-up thing so I can flip it up. And then I also have the Aero LED strobe lights, which are insane. So I have not had an opportunity to go fly at night yet because I'm waiting for my radio. But, and the reason why is that way I can just do some pattern work and things like that. I haven't done a night flight in so many years, I don't even remember how many years it's been, but it's been quite a few. And I just want to do some pattern work first, and I want to be able to talk with you guys while I'm doing the video. So that's my thinking. It is coming soon though. Hopefully ICOM will send my radio back soon. And then we'll go out and try it together. I did a whole install video as well. I haven't put it all together yet, but I did all the install myself. And everything worked perfectly when I was done, which is such a great feeling after spending like a month working outside in the winter, installing that kind of stuff, and all the switches and the circuit breakers and everything. So it was a little bigger of a project than I was kind of anticipating in my head, but yeah, that's all right. All right, overhead midfield, yep, it looks like it's still down 2-1, which is so crazy because it was coming out of like 3-1-0 up there, which is completely opposite. So usually, yeah, no, I have no idea. I legit have no idea. All right, well, I just made my calls. There's still nobody around. Looks to be maybe 4 or 5 knots right down the runway. Nice. Well, let's go ahead and put our fuel is still on. That's all good, that's all good. We'll come in at 60 knots, or correction, 60 miles an hour. And we've already made our landing call. And we'll just land long today because, well, I don't like wasting my nice 100 tires on pavement, so I'm gonna land about halfway down so I can land and then just pull off on Delta 3 taxiway. So I might as well just turn my base now. I'm just keeping my speed at 65 knots. If you're interested, if you're flying and you want to learn how to fly, I always learned pitch for airspeed, power for altitude, but since then I've actually changed it opposite to where now, because reality is, it is power for airspeed, pitch for altitude. You can think of it either way and it still gets the same results, but either way, if I'm wanting my airspeed to slow down, I pull power and pull back a little bit. If I want my airspeed to increase, I add power and push over just a tiny bit. So up here I'm like 73 miles an hour. So I pull power, pull back, that slows me down, and add a little bit of power to maintain that airspeed all the way in. Where are we going? Oh yeah, way up there. I'm just gonna hold it off. It feels like a little bit of a left crosswind, just ever so slightly. There we go. Every time you touch down, you can hear the wheels screech, and you're just like, ah, here goes $10. If you guys would like to learn how to fly, or if you've seen some of my other videos with the Kodiak and you'd like to learn how to fly that, I actually have a sim course you guys can try out. I run sales on it about every month or so, but there's a link down below if you guys would like to try that out. Alright, let's get the flaps down, a little bit of cross correction. Well, I think it was a good decision just to come back until I can get the C-pan fixed. Having fun, but potentially damaging your aircraft or yourself, it's just not worth it to me. I like flying, but I like to continue flying. At the time that the C-pan actually did kind of collapse in and land on all my control surfaces, yeah, it was not a great experience. It was out, thankfully, in Dead Cow, a huge lake bed, so I could just come in with zero wind and land any way I wanted to, and it really wasn't an issue, but I can always head back out there another day. But probably not tomorrow because they're going to be like 40-mile-an-hour winds. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy that. I feel a little bit more comfortable now, landing 3-point and then coming right back up immediately, rather than just rolling it out and letting the tail wheel bounce around back there. Obviously, I still have a lot more work to go on it, but I am feeling a lot more comfortable with that. Again, a lot of this is all just kind of learning it on my own with you guys. But thanks, guys. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, share it with whoever, and see you guys next time.